long warning sound to vacate the area immediately. Another thing that comes to mind seeing those is from the famous cartoon The Simpsons. Playground, gunfire. This video brings me to Berwick, Pennsylvania, a place I've visited many times, but today I'm at a place I'm visiting for the very first time. This is known as the Susquehanna Riverlands area. This is a recreation area that sits on 1,200 acres, and I heard about it last year and saw it for the very first time when I was doing a different video in the area. I knew I wanted to return and check it out in more detail. It offers everything from a lake known as Lake Took a While, very unique name, to fishing, non-powered boating, wildlife, walking, exercise trails, picnic facilities, and more. I want to see what it has to offer, show you what it's like, and that way if you ever want to visit for yourself, you know what to expect. So you're invited to come along with me as we explore the Susquehanna Riverlands. Here's an overview map of the area. We are right here. As you can see, there are numerous parking areas. There are facilities. Large body of water is Lake Took a While. And then we have the North Branch Canal with some bridges going over it. As we've learned, this is known as Lake Took a While. Maybe it took a while to form or to fill up. That I don't know. It's a very unique name. Lake Took a While. It's like something from a TV show like Camp Anawana. A little tiny spillway here, which does connect the canal section here. So there are two different sections of water. Then we do have the Susquehanna River in the distance. And I believe there's a trail that would take us over near that. Now this lake is not huge. It's basically long and narrow. And you can fish here. I heard it's a very popular fishing spot. When I came through the first time, there was dozens of people fishing here. You could also boat in it, such as a kayak or a canoe or a trolling motor, but there's no gas-powered motors allowed. And the lake does have a greenish, cloudy hue to it. And there's a reason for that. I'm going to show you a picture of something they had in the information placard stating that there's mussels that were introduced here in 2015, and the way they gather their food basically produces the green murky cloudiness. And they advise that if you are fishing here, make sure your gear is clear and free, so you're not taking the mussels somewhere else to another body of water. Just a couple geese sitting out there on the partially frozen section of water. What appears to be an island is not. It is actually accessible over here. And you have multiple vantage points for fishing. Now they did state, the sign stated there's no swimming allowed, but fishing and boating certainly is. And we have a family of geese over here. There's a whole bunch of them over here. Enjoying their early morning, or I should say early afternoon, late morning swim. Okay, so this is bigger than I thought. So the lake is long and narrow. It's probably over half mile to 3/4 of a mile in length. So it is big enough for some boating. Don't know how deep it goes. Can't see more than just a couple feet in the water here. But if you're into fishing, this is stocked with trout. And there's probably some other species of fish in here as well. If you're into photography or wildlife, obviously there's ample opportunities here for that. I'm guessing there's a shooting range around here somewhere. I do hear gunfire in the distance. And you may notice behind me what looks like a giant cloud. Well, that is the Berwick nuclear facility. Very similar to Chernobyl. That's the power plant. So you can't get views of it from here, depending on what part of the park you're in, but it is that close to it. And there's even a sign stating if you hear a long warning sound to vacate the area immediately, because it is literally right there. If something detrimental was to happen, you don't want to be standing here. Now, this looks like rather new, almost practically brand new stainless steel grill there, picnic table, benches. Route 11 is right there, so you do have some traffic noise. And today we have some gunfire noise. I wouldn't mind maybe bringing my kayak here and exploring this by boat. I don't know if there's an official boat launch area or not. Maybe we'll find that out, but it wouldn't be hard to launch kayak right here at least. Another thing that comes to mind seeing those is from the famous cartoon The Simpsons. I believe that's where Homer Simpson worked at, the old nuclear facility. And look at all that steam forms clouds. That can be seen for miles, especially from Route 81 heading south. You can see it in the distance. You can certainly see the clouds of smoke or steam. So we walked down here, came to a roundabout section. There's a bridge there for access to the parking lot. And over here is a neat little outcrop of land with a bench. Gives a little bit of privacy over there near the edge of the water under that tree. And yeah, I was definitely mistaken. This is a larger body of water than I realized. It's like a rocky bottom. And I can't see more than maybe 2-3 feet at the most. Wouldn't be good for underwater footage, but I think at some point I will bring my kayak here. It looks like it is large enough, deep enough. Now we can continue down this trail if we wish to. I'm actually going to cross over the bridge. We're going to go over in that direction. There are some of the facilities over there, and we'll see if there's other trails, but you can walk, run, and it doesn't say anything about not being able to bring bikes here, whether it's a traditional bicycle or your e-bike. So I'd be very apt to bring one of my e-bikes to explore these trails as well. But doing it on foot today, perfectly fine with me. Getting some fresh air, some exercise. And in case you're wondering, it is around 12:30 early afternoon, and it is around 38 to 39 degrees. Projected high of 42 and about a 6-7 mile per hour breeze. So it's comfortable, tolerable. The sun feels good. The only clouds in the sky are the ones from the power plant. Otherwise, perfectly blue skies. There's one of the few parking areas here and another little concrete pad. Now it looks like the trail that we were on, if you were to continue, eventually does loop around, comes out over here. And this gives you access to the canal area, which I'm guessing is open to fishing as well. And there's a side view of the bridge. As I was mentioning, pertaining to wildlife, obviously there's some geese, there's fish. Near the beginning part of the area, there is a butterfly garden. Even out here, there are some bird houses, so you can do some bird watching. If you want to bring your binoculars, or if you have a telephoto zoom, you could certainly see some of the wildlife in the area doing their thing. Now back here, there's another roundabout area, and I believe there's a trail that goes off of that. So want to get a sign or look at that to see where it goes. I think that will take us back by the river. We may or may not do that trail. Up here though is where we're going to find the little picnic facility, the pavilion, playground, gunfire, bathroom facilities, and the road that'll take you back here as well. This is the Riverside Trail of the Susquehanna Riverlands. Sign states "We are here," and the trail does go back, borders the river, and you can either come up halfway through or continue all the way around, going through some agriculture fields. It says this trail has been designed for hiking, cross-country skiing, and cross-country running. Offers several nice views of the Susquehanna River and hills beyond it. Also states at one point the trail crosses the empty North Branch canal bed and winds along the riverbank where the Iroquois Indians had their Great Warrior's Path. Land shown as agriculture is leased by PP&L to the local farmer. So, since we're here, let's do a little trekking. Let's take the Riverside Trail, get some views of the Susquehanna River. We'll take that halfway point, coming up Fence Row it's called, and then we'll return and check out the facilities over here. Looking back, this appears to be a grassy trail. Pretty well manicured and maintained. Obviously with the snow melt, it is soggy and muddy in areas, but it looks very easy and traversable for most people. And it's going to cut right through the agriculture field, so depending on the time of year that you're here, you may see some crops out there, whether it be corn or something else. So we're going to come to an opening here. There's tons of birds in these weeds. And we're going to be basically crossing straight across the farm field. I believe that's how it goes, yeah. I'm just going to follow the tracks here. And this will take us directly towards the river. So I'll see you over there by the tree line. If I haven't said so, this place also offers some spectacular views. The white of the snow, the blue skies, mountainous terrain. Man, that is gorgeous. And then you do have that right there. Pretty good shot from here. We did cross the field. The sign is here. The trail does continue. And we're going to press on. We are now bordering the Susquehanna River. I believe the trail will go to the left. And we're going to keep our eyes out for possibly the dry canal bed and the ruins from the Indians. Some large trees living back here and give you a closer view of the river. Mighty Susquehanna. This river has flooded many, many times in the past. I'd imagine this area here has been subject to that too at one time. Quite popular for fishing, boating. I think they even do some maybe polar plunges or rubber duck races, some various things that go on, different townships, different parts of the river. But back here though, you're far away from Route 11. It's definitely more quieter. Aside from the gunfire, which I don't know how often or active that is, coming back here on this trail will certainly give you some peace and quiet and tranquility. I will be sharing a photo montage a little bit later in the video, but right now I want to share a photo with you that I just captured of this image that we're looking at right now. I came upon it and I just knew I needed to capture it in photo form, and it has basically everything you'd want in a photo. It has contrast, has depth, it has nature. It has a lot of things going for it, more than I could describe. And I was like, wow, that's a photo moment if I've ever seen one. And I couldn't wait. I wanted to share it with you right now. Snow is a little bit deeper back here too. I can imagine in the summertime how lush and green it is as well. It'll be very shady back here, I'll tell you that. More than enough trees to give you some protection from the sun. We walked all the way down here, bordering the river. Trail does continue, but there's an offshoot here. I believe this is the halfway mark known as Fence Row that we saw on that map. I didn't come across any ruins yet of the canal or the Indian things that were mentioned. They're either farther down or maybe somewhere up here. I'm still keeping my eyes peeled, but we may or may not come across them today based on the direction that we're going on this trail. I'm guessing this is Fence Row. Unofficial fence made out of trees and brush, so it's a brush line. This is taking us directly to the entrance. Just walked up along the tree line, came to the road. So that takes you right out to Route 11. This is the main entrance into the Susquehanna Riverlands. There's the map board we were checking out earlier. And now we have this open field here with a few different things. We'll walk over there, get a closer look at those. So for orientation, there's a parking lot here. The river trail that we just walked is in the background. And here is the bathroom facilities. They are closed for the winter, but look at, and I mentioned it earlier, 2011 flood level. That would be nearly top of my head. That's a lot of water. So this area did get flooded completely just 13 years ago. Underneath this little pavilion, they do have rows of picnic tables. I'm sure you could possibly rent it out if you wanted to, or reserve it. Close proximity to the bathrooms. Some grilling here. And if we walk over here to the edge of the canal, not only will you have views of the canal, but you'll be able to see the bridge that we crossed over with a little tiny spillway of Lake Took a While. And I still find that name very funny and humorous. Lake Took a While. Very unofficial, it sounds like, but one of a kind. Catchy. Yeah, the canal, for the most part, is frozen, and the lake water is spilling over into this. I'm guessing this would be the activities area. We got, appears to be a ball field, a little backstop fence there. Volleyball or badminton, wire or net. Some swings, more picnic tables, another pavilion or two, more restrooms, a more traditional playground further down with some slides, and some shady trees in the summertime, but it's all right here in this area. Of course, you have all this area too for frisbee, throwing a ball around, getting a suntan, listening to the traffic if you wanted to. Found a perfect little spot here. This bench is right here in front of the canal. Got some large trees around me. Really nice spot. The one thing I like about this park is that it's not overly large. It's 1,200 acres, but that's not too big where you're going to get lost or disoriented easily. Most of the trails are loop trails, and even going back to where we went, I mean, you can't really get lost. All you do is just stay on the trail, and you can either make it shorter like we did, cutting up halfway, or follow it all the way out. And if you follow all the way out, it'll take you past the other agriculture field and bring you in this direction to the main entrance. So it's basically one giant loop of that trail. But without going back there, the trails appear nice. And that's the one thing I do like, that they're all manicured. They're not difficult or challenging. There's no steep grades, no big boulders, tree roots. It's mostly grass and dirt and crushed stone. So it's very easy for most people to traverse, especially in the summertime when it's all dried out too. I don't think most people would have trouble walking around here. Oh, can you guys see them? There's some fish right there. 2 little fish. I see a... Oh, that's a stick. Yeah, there's definitely 2 little fish here. They're actually coming closer over here. Little silverfish. I don't know what kind that is. Hanging out here in front of the spillway. Hey, he's got some friends over there too. Certainly not big enough to catch and eat or to keep, but there's fish in here. Without a doubt. If you ever are in the area, I do recommend you stopping here, checking it out. Easy access off Route 11, just minutes from downtown Berwick. And if you find the power plant stacks, well, you know you're close to the park. Plenty of things to do, large enough to get away from other people. And I think I'll be returning to do some photography, maybe some biking if it's allowed, definitely some kayaking, and exploring the rest of the trails. Hope you had a good time exploring with me today. I appreciate you coming along for this adventure as we got to see what the Susquehanna Riverlands Park is like. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you in the next video.